if you decide to approach the rail. I'd ask that you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is a continuation from last month. This is a petition of Citizens Bank seeking variance in connection with location, or I guess replacement, of a sign at 6 Russell Street.
Hi, good evening. For the record, my name is Heather Dudko, 27 Old Meeting House Road in Auburn, Mass. And I work with the sign installer, Philadelphia Sign. Oh, Batten Brothers, I'm sorry, it's the sign installer. Good evening. We were here last month to discuss the replacement of a ground sign at Citizens Bank, and I did relay our conversation and the suggestions to the sign manufacturer and to the bank of what your concerns were. And they did submit a new revised proposal for consideration. The new replacement sign would be 62 square foot, and it would be reduced to 21-foot overall height. And the setback would match the existing setback that's there now. The existing sign is set back from the front, the leading edge of the sign from the property line, 3.2 feet, and the proposed replacement would be 3.3 feet. So it would be similar to the setback that's been maintained for that sign for over 30 years. We did discuss some options about refacing, leaving the structure in place, or finding a different position within the site to put the sign. But based on the setback, that would put it right into, put it into the parking lot, and they'd have to run some new electrical. They'd have to really have some time and consideration to do that. So they would like you to consider replacing the sign at the same setback that the existing sign is. That sign's been there for many years, and they like that location, and they would like to keep the sign there.
All right, so it's not, so I can't remember actually now, are we, the last month we talked about two things, right? The setback and also the closeness of the, I guess, edge of the sign. So have both of those changed in this new proposal compared to the original proposal?
For the front or the side?
Well, both, okay? So there's the fronts, everything. So my understanding is that it's going to stay pretty close to the 3.2 setback?
Correct. So the existing, when we were here last month, we requested a 1.2
Yeah.
foot setback,
Right,
which was not,
right. No one wanted that.
nobody wanted that. So they'll move it back. The existing sign now, the leading edge of the sign is 3.2 foot setback. Our proposed sign would be 3.3 foot setback from the leading edge of the sign from the front. And then the side setback will be 10.4 foot, where the existing sign is 7.2 side setback. So it's going to be moved over. If you're looking at the bank, the sign will be moved to the right a little bit, but it will be adjacent to the existing foundation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just trying to, as I'm looking at the original, so that's the same side setback that was originally suggested, right? The
From last month?
Yeah.
Oh, here.
Right, because I'm looking at the
Yes,
plan
yes.
dated
You're correct.
January 28th, 2025.
Yes. So last month when we were here, we were proposing a 100 square foot sign, 30 foot overall height. So they've reduced it to 62 square foot and 21 foot overall height. Smaller.
All right, and so my memory is, this was never there was no variance granted for this location at any point.
I don't believe so, because this is the original bank sign that's been there since 1991. And when it was changed to Citizens, they reused the existing pole.
Sure. Did you happen to look in the building folder to see if this existing sign had a variance granted for it?
I don't believe it did.
Back in the 90s?
Gordon and I were talking about that.
Sure, it's not Mr. Vincent's responsibility to see if there's an existing variance.
I didn't do any research into this.
Right, no,
Yeah.
nor should you. Because I would assume if there was a variance, you would have said, hey, we already have a variance, we're just modifying the variance. So,
There was a record of an application for a variance a while back, but we could not find any record of anything being recorded.
okay. All right, well, let me ask if any of the, oh, and actually, just so for the record, Member Chatfield had a conflict with this evening, and so Member Ryan has been kind enough to review the videotape from last month's hearing and the materials, and he has certified that he has done so. Under our rules, he is eligible to participate and vote on the variance request this evening. Let me ask, any other members of the board have any questions?
Just one question. The overall height, I think you've stated that the original was 22 feet. Is that high? It's now going to be 21 feet? Is that correct?
The existing sign?
The existing sign?
The existing sign is 22-foot overall height, and our proposed is 21.
21 feet. Okay. Thank you. So it just appears that you're not expanding any type of nonconformities. Is that correct?
Correct.
The square foot of the existing sign, did you,
Is 102,
102, now you're down to 60-something?
62.
62. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, is there any law on if something is there for a certain period of time and it's not challenged, that it becomes
That applies to structures.
not signage?
Yeah, I don't think this would apply to a sign, but I haven't researched that. We deal with that often in connection with, older houses that were built at a point in time. Maybe the survey wasn't as accurate, or somebody screwed up when they placed the foundation.
Like fences
I
or,
was just going to say, we might have dealt with fences with that in the past too, haven't we? I don't know.
I did have a question.
Sure.
So you said, if I heard you correctly, you said that the new sign is going to be adjacent to the foundation of the old sign?
Correct.
What's going to happen with the old foundation?
I'm not a engineer or an installer, yeah, I'm not familiar with how they, if
Are
they fill it in.
keeping
or
it
if
there,
they-
or are they going to break it up and take it out, or?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know. But there was concern about using that foundation since it's over 30 years old,
So
so,
you're going to pour a new foundation for this?
correct. Correct.
Is there anyone in the audience who cares to be heard in connection with this request for a variance at 7 Russell Street? Sorry, 6 Russell Street, my apologies.
One comment, to add on to Ms. Ryan, I would, just for a condition that the foundation to be removed below grade and all the electric to be removed and safed off going to that, existing pole. So nothing is exposed, and it needs to be safed off, and obviously permit-wise, we should assume an electrical inspector will have it. So.
How does the board wish to proceed?
I'd make a motion that we grant the variance with the condition.
I'll second.
All in favor of the pending motion? Opposed? All right, so that passed 4-1. A decision needs to be prepared and filed with the clerk's office. No building permit will issue until that appeal period expires without an appeal being filed. Okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gordon.
Thank you, Heather. I'll be in touch. Look at the agenda.
No, I have it. I was just checking the Chapter 48, Section 7, which was the statute that, remember Ryan asked me about? I have my agenda right here.
I think the time period is 10 years, but I don't know.
The next item on the agenda is the petition of Serato Signs in connection with seeking a variance for signage at 369 Washington Street, Woburn, Mass. This was a matter that is also continued from last month, and I understand there's been a request submitted.
Yes, the, this is on behalf of Serato Signs. Do you want me to read their
Yeah, could you read it into the record, please?
This is from Lauren Croner on behalf of Serato Signs. Hi, Gordon. I hope you're doing well. As you may recall, we went before the ZBA back on 3/12/25 for a sign variance. The board would not approve our proposal, so we asked for continuance so we could discuss with Starbucks and determine how they want to proceed. They have opted to remove the Starbucks channel letters from the south elevation, thus making the scope compliant with the code. We have already been in touch with Tom Quinn in the building department. We've uploaded the revised drawings to the online portal for his review. As we no longer require the variance, we would like to formally withdraw our application without prejudice. Please let me know if you need anything else. Otherwise, please confirm that this email will suffice as a formal withdrawal letter. Thank you again for your assistance. I look forward to working with you again. Lauren Cronin on behalf of Serato Signs.
All right, thank you. How does the board wish to proceed in connection with the request to withdraw?
Make a motion to leave to withdraw without prejudice.
All in favor of the pending motion?
Aye.
All right, that passed. The next item on our agenda is the petition of Adam O'Doherty, 20 North Maple Street, seeking a variance to construct a fence higher than 3 feet within the front setback. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I assume you are Adam O'Doherty?
Yes, sorry, Adam O'Doherty, 20 North Maple Street.
All right, so Mr. O'Doherty, we have your petition. Could you just generally explain what you're requesting?
I'm asking for a variance to do a 6-foot privacy fence within one of the 3 25-foot setbacks. The property itself is the overall topography is very difficult. It's sloped in every which direction. Due to being on half an island, I have 3 streets that surround the property. Looking to push in the variance would be within the 25-foot setback towards the residential side, not the commercial side.
All right, and you have submitted a marked up plot plan?
Yes.
Excuse me. Sorry. I was trying to figure out, so I drove over there over the weekend, but
Yes.
I admit I had some challenges in finding this particular address, so I think that was probably just some issue I was having. So my concern, I was trying to figure out what sightline issues there are for your neighbor on Knight Ave, number 22, because it looks like the driveway.
So
The driveway's on the other side.
the driveway is on the other side of the house on North Maple Street. Knight Ave, there is no line of sight issues. The line is written on the plot line. It's still about 10 feet from the actual street itself if you got back onto Night Ave. The only line of sight issues is if I was asking to extend down to Dexter Ave. But that's not possible due to the land.
And your claim of hardship is based on the topography?
No, the reason for the yard, the fence itself is security and containment of my child in the backyard. It's, like I said, it's a very difficult piece of land. Dexter Avenue has opened up, it's a big cut through, and then my street, to be honest, is a nightmare. It's all commercial properties funneled down into front of my house. So I have school buses, triaxle dump trucks every hour on the hour.
Okay, so, but in order for the board to make a finding that that you're eligible for a variance, we need to find that there are specific conditions that relate to the real estate itself, such as topography, soil conditions, slope, so that there's something about the real estate itself that compels you to essentially violate the.
Right, so it would be the topography. So if you drove up on Night Ave, my yard from the back door is slanted up towards Night Ave and then slants down towards Night Ave. And right where that fence line is the only like ridge line that would make sense to put a fence. Because everything else is sloped in every which direction.
Madam Chair? Yeah, so I drove over there, and so Night Ave, I think topography is an issue. As I looked at Night Ave, you have a drop-off.
Yep.
Where there are children's toys, like right on a level,
Yes.
then there's a drop.
Right.
So are you talking about putting the fence like where the children's toys are, at the top of before the drop?
It would be, it would be right before the drop on the other side of the bushes. The
Yeah.
bushes are like on a hill.
The bushes are like on the hill.
growing at a slant, yeah. It would be between the bushes where the ridge line is before the drop would be where the fence would be.
Yeah, because I could see where that would be a concern, because the property just kind of drops there. And it kind of drops in the front, too.
It drops on all sides, yeah.
But if the fence were inside those drops, as opposed to outside closer to the property line,
Correct.
that's what you're proposing?
Can you say that
Okay,
again?
so like, the property line is here, the drop is here. Are you talking about putting the fence before the drop or at the bottom on the property line?
No, but before the drop.
Okay.
Can I interject?
Yep.
Okay. There's no measurement on your plan showing the proposed distance between the lot line and the fence. So
Yeah.
your interest in knowing where it was in connection
Mm-hmm.
with the drop, and I'm a little confused about what you're calling the ridge line, but
Okay.
but we would need to have measurements on the plan. So it's very common for members of the board to say, well, I don't really feel comfortable having a 6-foot fence right on the lot line. What about you take it back? And then, but it would be referred to either on the plan or in a decision, because if the board wants to grant you relief,
Yep.
there's no measurements on here. So this doesn't say, oh, yeah, I'm proposing that 6-foot fence be 4 feet from the property line. So what is,
I understand what you're saying. So where the children's toys are, it's still currently staked out because I had it surveyed. And where those children's toys are before that drop is where my lot line is. That's where the pink line on this would be. So I probably should have had a measurement between the lot line and where the actual pavement of the street is.
absolutely,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we'll need.
yeah. Like, so you have, so we have a measurement where the 16 feet connects the fence over to your house. And, there's 30 feet that's how I'm reading this, on the other side, 30 feet of fence from the front corner of the house.
Correct.
But there's no measurements on any of the other lines of the fence, particularly from your various, the other lot lines.
So you're, like, you're saying the 63 on that?
See, that to me just says you have a 63-foot run of fence. That's how I interpret that. The fence is 63 feet long.
Okay.
It doesn't tell me how far away it is from the lot line, because it's not drawn on the lot line, it's drawn in from the lot line, but I don't know how far in. And if we don't know, then the building commissioner doesn't know, so how are we gonna tell if you actually are complying with the variance or not, if we don't have the measurement?
Okay.
So do you have any sense of what that measurement is?
I mean, it would be a guess. I mean,
Okay.
from the street to where the lot line is 10, 12 feet.
How about from lot line to fence?
Yeah, that's what we're focused on, from the
Lot
lot line.
line to fence,
Pink line to lot line is what we need a distance.
it would be a foot or two within the lot line. Depending on how the run of fence would go.
You really need just the two dimensions. The one to the Knight Avenue, so if it's a foot, like just have the surveyor put a foot,
Okay.
2 feet. The one on the right, which is to the right side, there's no north arrow or nothing, but that's the same thing. The one to the left on Dexter, that's easy because you do the math, so it's probably about 17 feet. Just have the surveyor throw a dimension line of about 17, it's about 17 feet because you get 43.8 to the corner of the house. You're saying 16 for the fence from the house, so you do the math, it's around 17 feet, right? That's about all I can do. No. So I think what we're saying is just make it cleaner on the site plan, that way that the building commissioner and others and the installer, whoever that may be, is definitely gonna meet what is gonna be presented to the
Okay.
board. Right, just to clarify it.
So how does the board wish to proceed?
Well, I've kind of got a couple other questions.
I did
Well-
too, but go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate you notching this area off here. I would believe if somebody came down Knight Street, there's plenty of viewing. They can get out to Dexter Avenue, is that correct?
Yes.
Is that why you? Another thing too, a couple months ago, I saw that the Traffic Commission was talking with some neighbors about this intersection here. I don't know if you were involved in that, or
The paperwork for the traffic commission was through me as well.
was 3 as well, and you spoke here?
I spoke here.
Spoke here as well, because I watched that a couple months ago,
Yes.
and I said to myself, you know, I think I actually went up there back in high school, and I actually drove up, I was trying to stay on Merrimack, and drove
Yeah.
up Dexter, and you might have said that too, but.
Yeah.
I just was thinking too, I mean, if this were to be continued to update your drawing for us, if we may have a statement from our traffic, guy that we go to that would just simply say that, hey, this appears to be good, because you might change that whole intersection around eventually, correct?
Well, that's the hope. I mean, like I said, that intersection at North Maple and Dexter is a nightmare. It's terrible.
I just want it to be, and then when you think when the new Boston Bridge is going to be built, you're gonna even have more traffic coming through there, so.
Yeah.
I just want to be safe for the people on Knight Street coming down. And if there was a quick one-line statement that the policeman reviewed the drawings and felt that it was okay, I think I'd be good for it.
That's a good point.
Just a couple questions. I mean,
Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, I'm very familiar with that area, and it is a nightmare. I mean, you've got central cooling and heating, that whole, in back of central, there's several landscaping firms, there's Atlantic Power Cleaning, there's, out back is North Suburban Transportation, got buses going through there all the time, so it's very congested. My question to you is, the house to the north of you has a white vinyl fence, right? And that's your neighbor, that's not your house.
That's not the one that's on the island with me?
In back, so further up the hill towards central cooling.
Further up the hill on the left.
The light brown house.
Yes, that's a multifamily, that's my
Because they
neighbor.
have looks like a 6-foot vinyl fence, and it goes right to the, right to,
Right to the street, like, within
street.
a couple feet of the street.
And I'm guessing there's no variance that authorizes that 6-foot fence right
yeah,
up to
well,
the
that was going to
street.
be my question, but you probably would have no idea on that.
It's been rotating families, I don't know who owns that.
Yeah.
What street address is that?
I believe,
One Night Ave, maybe?
no,
22?
I believe that's a North Maple Street address, I couldn't
Oh, it
give you the
is?
actual number.
Well, that's what, we're looking at the
North
maps.
Maple's broken into 3 sections, and
Right.
the numbers are messed up too.
So, got Night Ave and North Maple, so it's right there
Yeah.
on the island. But, just an observation, that there's a huge vinyl fence that goes all the way around the property.
Is this on the
And that's on
aerial
North Maple?
drawing that shows 22?
22,
Yeah, that's the same island, but it's connected
Okay.
to my house.
So you'll have a 6-foot fence that'll fully enclose is that what's gonna happen?
In my yard,
No, you'll meet up with the fence there with 22, is that correct?
I believe that's a 6-foot vinyl.
No, there's some land and a driveway between the properties, so it wouldn't meet up, but just what I was getting to, do you know if there was a variance for that fence? Do you have any?
I couldn't give you an honest answer on that, I don't know.
Right. And is the property with the 6-foot fence, is that 22 North Maple?
That sounds right, don't quote me.
yes,
It is.
Okay, well,
drove up there.
I'm happy to ask the building commissioner.
So I was just, with my question, somebody that comes out, number 2 and number 4 Ninth Street, come out their front door, they're gonna see is a 6-foot fence the whole way down, but, I guess you said it's broken up here.
I'm getting the sense that the other members share my desire to have some measurements that show the setback from the property line. Is there anyone who's prepared to make a motion on this evening?
To continue?
Well,
Oh,
to-
I'm
or
sorry,
to
to-
vote on the merits, because if there isn't, then
Well,
I,
I think, no, I mean, I think if we were gonna get an updated drawing, I still would want just a little something from the traffic enforcement.
yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. No one's prepared to make a motion
Okay.
on this evening. And the board is requesting that you provide us with some more information on the plan, specifically the distance from lot line, okay? Because
Okay.
the variance, we only look at your lot line, so we don't look at the city's right-of-way, or how much distance there is, to the edge of pavement, or things like that. We
Okay.
just focus on your lot line. So if you could update this to provide the proposed distance from the lot line, and if any of the members have any other comments or suggestions about, landscaping, or I'm not suggesting that we do, but oftentimes,
Yep.
people say, well, kind of along the lines, well, it's kind of like, this white wall that everyone's going to be looking at. Sometimes members ask you to consider landscaping it to kind of break up the white mass. So if anyone has that kind of feedback, it would be helpful for Mr. O'Doherty to have that feedback now, before he goes back out and really kind of puts pen to paper and thinks specifically about the distance from the lot line.
Yes, I think, the Night Ave area, I just see, as I'm picturing it, I just want to be able to picture how much room is going to be in front of that fence before the street. Because you already have bushes there. There's already growth there. So that's what, when you come back with your plan, I just want to see, I see that there's a slope there's bushes. Where is the fence in relation to that?
It's going to be on the side of the bushes, on the side of my house, away from the street.
Okay, yeah, so you show that on the, yeah.
Yeah, so I will, I will get the distance to the lot line, and then I'll also get you a distance to the street. Like I said, the distance to the street, I'm guessing 12 feet is generous. It's going to be more than that.
And most of that's brush? I mean, I haven't.
It's, yeah, there are a couple evergreen bushes, and then there's an open section on Night Ave.
So did you say the fence is going to be, the bushes are going to be between the fence and Night Ave?
Yes,
It looks like it looks like your property line is right on the center line of those bushes.
it's,
Just looking at the aerial, I don't know how accurate it is.
no, the sticks are right on the inside of those bushes.
Okay, because
Okay.
that, Madam Chair, if those bushes, assuming those bushes.
Those bushes are
stay,
staying, yes.
that pretty much addresses
Sure.
that
Yeah.
concern,
Well,
at
Yeah, I
least
mean-
from the Night Ave side.
okay. So because we're not going to take a vote on this and we're asking for some more information, if you want to come back next month and give us that additional information, that's called a continuance. We would continue this matter
Yeah.
until next month. So if you want us to do that and give you the opportunity to get the measurements, we have a form to fill out, in which you ask the board to grant you a continuance until next month so you can go get that information. Is that how you want to proceed?
I would like a continuance.
Okay, so, Mr. Vincent.
Thank you.
Have we set a date for our next meeting?
Isn't it May? Didn't we just, May?
21st?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. Thanks.
So, how does the board wish to proceed with the petitioner's request for a continuance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
All right, so that passed. So, Mr. O'Doherty, this matter is continued until May 22nd? No, 21st? I'm sorry, I haven't put it in my calendar yet.
No, that's all right.
May
I'll find it.
21st. The third Wednesday in May.
Okay.
All right, and if you have any questions between now and then, feel free.
The only question I have is, does it have to be from, does it have to be from the surveyor, or can I have that updated? I guess the surveyor would have to put it on the map. I was gonna say, can I have that updated from the company doing the fence itself?
Well, it's got to be on we require you to have a certified plot
Yeah,
plan
it
so
would
that
have to
we
be on
feel
the-
comfortable with the measurements, so I think it shouldn't take long at all. Mr. Farrell, I'm sure, will do it very quickly.
Okay.
And he's not going to be surprised.
Yeah, if I can track him
with
down.
this request, so,
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
all right, thank you guys.
all right, thank you.
Mr. O'Doherty, do you need this back, this version of it?
Yeah, if I can, yeah.
I know how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. Appreciate it, thanks.
Just a question to the chair. Would you make that request to our traffic safety officer? Is that possible?
Yeah, I have two requests on this one. One to the building commissioner, 22, and to the traffic safety officer. Okay. I made a note of it, so hopefully that means I'll do it.
Do you want me to reach out to the traffic safety officer?
No, it's fine, I'm happy to. All
Thank
right.
you, Madam Chair.
Of course. The next item on our agenda is the petition of ECA Nema Brightfields 2 LLC in connection with the request for a variance to reduce the front yard setback for a solar array structure at 132 Commerce Way.
Darren Welch representing Alan Watson, the original petitioner.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your last name.
Welch?
Welch?
Welch, yep.
W-E, spell for me?
W-E-L-C-H.
Oh, all right, that's what I thought. All right, welcome, Mr. Welsh. So we have this request for a variance. You may have heard me ask one of the previous applicants for a variance of what's the hardship that the company is relying on. The board needs to make a finding that there's a hardship owing to the soil conditions, shape, or topography of the lot that basically would compel the company to violate the front setback. So what is the hardship that forms the basis for the variance?
The hardship to form the basis would be on the fact that the site itself was not allowed to have any type of soil disturbance, and therefore moving the array after having already been set with the ballasted concrete blocks would cause disturbance to the soil.
Didn't you disturb the soil to put in all those concrete blocks?
We had to do some remediation in order to do so.
All right. So.
I would also like to note that this only became present to us after the fact that the site was constructed, that we were from 25 feet, we knew the setback being 25 feet with the curvature of the road, and the measurement coming from the center of the road being 3 feet 7 inches is where the maximum we have encroached.
All right, so you're here asking for forgiveness instead of permission because all those solar panels are on site now, right?
That is correct. In order to move those, again, being the soil disturbance, it would also require to remove the solar array itself and then move those concrete blocks. They are quite heavy.
Do any members of the board have any questions for Mr. Welch?
How long have those solar panels been there?
I
Few
believe
years?
construction started in 2021. No, I'm sorry, 2022. The project we acquired in 2021. It did take us a few years to get it constructed with all the constraints that we had, with it being an EPA-regulated project there on this Superfund site.
I was just going to say, it's basically a Superfund site.
It absolutely is.
Did you go through approvals with the city council and the planning board for these solar panels?
Oh, absolutely. Every
So-
approval. Yep. And we were
So
directed for the variance.
was there something wrong with the lot line? Excuse me, was there something wrong with the lot line at the time, or some?
No, and I cannot speak to exactly why I was brought onto the project after they had been put into place as the assistant project manager. And when we had started the process of doing the permit closeout with the building commissioner, what was required was a survey of our materials. He had requested that. We became aware that we were in the setback based on the survey. We had approached that, and we had mentioned that, to the building commissioner, not trying to hide or sweep anything under the rug, but say, hey, we realized that we were, encroached by 1 foot 5 inches.
So are you saying a survey wasn't done?
No, ma'am, a survey
Until-
was done, yes.
Until after this was built?
No, this is what we call an as-built ALTA
Sure.
survey.
Right, it's an
so-
as-built survey.
Yes.
But my question, though, is, are you telling me that no one who was working on this project knew there was a 25-foot setback, and no one was paying attention when this was constructed?
No, ma'am, I am not saying that at all. If you will notice on the plans, what we show is that it's only a small portion of the southern array, or the most southern row in the array, that has encroached the setback.
sure,
And it
'cause-
is based,
Because that's the part
Yeah.
that's closest to the front lot line, so it makes sense that that's the
Yeah.
one that's in
so
violation.
what you see as part of that is within the 25-foot setback. However, because of the curvature of the road, it was missed, because when the construction of these solar arrays is built, it is built on a straight line.
Okay, I don't
It
see
was
any curvature on this road.
it was an oversight by the construction team.
Sure, I don't see any curvature on this road. You keep talking about curvature of the road. I don't see it. So clearly, somebody screwed up, which was made crystal clear when the building commissioner did his job and required the as-built plan. And so has he issued a cease and desist to you? What's the current?
No, ma'am, it
enforcement?
was his recommendation that we seek the variance.
Any questions from the board?
Had at the time that the survey was correct at the time, and there was the angle there, you would have, basically just would have angled that row a little bit to stay within the 25 feet, correct?
Our builder should have done that, yes.
And does the builder have an insurance policy that's available for damages?
This would not be something that we would claim against them.
Well, would they
That's
fix
perfect.
it for free then?
No, ma'am.
How
I'm
does
not
the
sure
board
that
wish
the
to
board would
proceed?
consider that a hardship necessarily, but it was a route that we had initially looked at, but again, with conversation with the building commissioner, he had advised to us to seek the variant, pass for a
Sure.
variance first.
Right, but if the board denies this request for a variance, then there's going to be an enforcement action. It would seem to me that whatever the contractor that messed up would be responsible for it, but in any event. Any further comment or discussion? And I don't see anybody else in the audience, so I don't believe anyone in the audience cares to be heard.
Well, Madam Chair, I think I'd be for it, just to let you know that it is that Superfund site, and there's not many people up through that Congress Way there. The mistakes were made, yes, but it's only a couple feet, so I can make a motion for it due to the shape of the lot.
I would second it. Is it on the floor?
Yep.
Second.
All right, that motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so that passes 4-1. A decision needs to be prepared and filed, so the variance is not effective until the appeal period expires without anyone filing an appeal. All right, and if you have any, it typically takes about a week for the decision to be filed in the city clerk's office, but if you have any questions, you can reach out to Mr. Vincent, okay?
Will do, it's been tremendous help.
Okay. All right, good evening.
Thank you, thank you all.
All right, the next item on our agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from the March 12th meeting. I've already provided Mr. Vincent, I had a couple of notes on that. I don't know if anyone else has any suggested edits or comments.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as amended by the chair.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that passed. I'm not aware of any other matter that is legally before the board. So I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And is there a second? I have all three moved, okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned until the May 21st meeting.